philosophize on the accessibility of knowledge and how that's important to optimized learning and optimal learning and states of optimal learning, and particularly as we access knowledge more that's direct to our perception, indirect perception, we are more able to form associations that we can mobilize near immediately in these instantives, and that we have access and that can give us the ability to do more, to conduct ourselves in the ways we want to in regards to what we deem to be meaningful and what's actually meaningful, and not just seems meaningful, but is actually meaningful. And that is meaningful with regard to a domain-specific application and domain-specific learning, but can also trickle out to these electrical branches and metallic receptions exterior to us as we course our cognitions that have these discharges of information that seem to barrage sporadic bursts of information that come to us in bites and form larger categories that become greater to access the more we form meaning associations in direct relation to them as we engage more creatively in thinking, and not just the same old tracks and trails of thinking, but as we explore new tracks and trails of thinking that even have these odd, small, sometimes these trickles that trickle outwards in the trail that we're in as we are captivated within, say, a forest walk even. And as we engage more meaningful in our surrounds, within our cerebral space, in our artistic space, our aesthetic imagination, that we can form more of these creative associations within our subjective experiences that pertain to our direct perceptions and the conducts of our thinking in relation to our surrounding environment that's external to us and that's direct to our sense experience, that we're transmitting information and transmuting that into different categorizations that are categoricalized and deepen particularly with this creative process of association, of meaningful association, and are purposing them, giving them not just purpose, but something that's meant to have some sort of function that we've associated an intent to on proposito. And what that is something, I'm using a Portuguese term here because it tends to actually connect a very broad set of meaning categories that have more of this expansive depth to it, that's more efficient in some way to access, rather than just something like the term purpose per se. Proposito is to do something with a meaningful direction, and that's often done with agency, and it's not done mindlessly. It's done with thoughtfulness and a directed thought in particular to a set of objectives, or something that we've had some sort of deliberate process engaging and tapping into what we deem to be meaningful and what we have meant. And that's all I want to say for this video on accessibility. We can make things more accessible simply by getting more creative on our prior learnings, even if that starts off in a very small domain, just trying to make these new associations and trying to access that more and more, and thinking about creative ways that we can innovate and create that accessibility, even if it's writing it down so that we can see that term and put it out in front of it and it's within our gaze. Or if we seek out opportunities in our environment in which we can recognize that information and form an association to tap into that and to form that connection in a meant way.